These are the games that create an atmosphere like no other. These are the games that can make a war zone of a city. These are derby days. Alright, so this is it, the last of our derby days trips, and if I'm perfectly honest, it's probably the fixture that I've been worrying about the most. However, this is also the fixture I've most been looking forward to. I mean, I'm always going on about active support and how I believe it plays the most important role in football. Well, the fans here in Belgrade are about as active as supporters can be. It's Partizan, it's Red Star, it's the eternal derby.
The Belgrade derby is one of the most special, unique football games in the world.
It's part of you, it defines you.
Your whole city and whole country is speaking only about football.
It's one of the things that defines a city.
The clubs are so important to the identity of the city.
Pa dobro, ovdje cele nedelje pred derbi se osjeća velika, i na ulici, u kafićima, svuda je prisutna ta atmosfera pred derbi.
But the whole country stops and watches the game.
And if you want to experience the atmosphere and the city properly, you need to see the derby game.
U karijeri sam igrao još jedan derbi u Italiji između Genove i Sampdorije i tamo isto vruć derbi, navijači su fenomenalni, ali mislim da je ovo jedan od posljednjih derbija gdje su navijači tako vrući kao ovdje u Beogradu.
Sport was always a way to just exert your stresses, to exert your passion, you know, to have a break from everyday life, because it's not easy here.
People don't have money, people can't travel, people don't have what to do else just to go to the football.
So that your average 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, when it comes to derby day, for them that's it. That's that day that they've been waiting for. That's that day to scream the loudest, to shout the loudest, to show why you're better than the opposition.
They release their tensions.
Yeah. Too many tension around in normal life, so you need some place where you can expel that tension.
And that's what I think just is the magic about football. You forget about life for 90 minutes. And in Belgrade, that's where it's special.
This match is notorious the world over for the behaviour of its fans, and I want to find out just how much of this reputation is justified and what attending the Belgrade derby is really like.
Pa ja mogu samo jedno da kažem da su naši navijači najbolji na svetu i mislim da su najvatreniji na svetu.
Yeah, definitely both teams have very good support.
This part of the Europe have a lots of passion. Greeks are passionable nation, Serbs are passionable nation.
A ovo je Balkan i ovdje je sve vruće, tako da mi smo malo posebni što se tiče toga.
This part of the Europe is people with warm blood.
Two big clubs and same place. That's the reason why they always fighting between them. Who is best?
In the 80s, the people didn't hate so much, but now it's crazy.
The clubs that drive these two sets of supporters so crazy were formed in the aftermath of the Second World War, when the communist president Tito took over the country.
Both clubs were established on the ashes of this country after World War II. The Partizan was established by a group of young Yugoslav army officers, the veterans of the Spanish Civil War, who've fought fascism in Spain, and then they've beaten Nazis here.
Partizan was a team of army, and Red Star was being team of police.
For Partizan, it's like they represent army, and for Red Star, there is a story they represent the police. But the other legend says that Red Star was the people's club and like some kind of the reaction to the communism, because people didn't like communism and they wanted to have something on their own.
Youth of Belgrade said, okay, we must have a club. Let us found some club. So that was the day of 4 March 1945, and it exists from that days, and everything else is history.
Despite great success in the intervening years, including a European Cup win for Red Star in 1991, today the clubs are almost better known for the fans' behaviour off the pitch than the players' exploits on it.
Unfortunately, the picture that we are sending to the world, to the Europe, and not the picture of good football, not the picture of great goals, but the picture of violent scenes.
I think it is because of the situation in country. After the war, everyone were unpleasant and full of hate, and they needed something to release themselves, to go somewhere and shout and to fight.
There are incidents, of course, on the way to the stadium on match days, the fans get in skirmishes or something. But those are the fans who really like that sort of thing.
I don't like collectivity guilty. I like personal guilty. I make something bad, I'm guilty. Not all of us.
One of the problems I've had when looking into this derby is that when you start reading up on the ultras, it doesn't take long before you come across some pretty disturbing stories and accusations. But I refuse to accept that that's all there is to it. I want to find out how representative these violent elements are and see what else is driving the incredible passion of this derby.
I can't say that the reputation is entirely unjustified.
It's somewhat fair, but I think it's not as bad as people think.
Yeah, there has been violence. I have seen violence. I have had some small missiles thrown at me by Red Star fans when I was exiting a game. But for the most part, no.
That's why when people come over from abroad, initially they might be, they have that kind of negative perspective. The spin of the Western media has been, Eastern Europe, it's dangerous, after the England game, apparent racism. People love people coming here, whether you're black, Asian, Indian. When you come here, you're going to be welcomed with a big heart. People want to show you that it isn't true what you might see in the media.
I think that there's much more to this rivalry than just violence.
I feel it's fantastic because people here, fans here, sing all the time, all 90 minutes.
Every one of your senses will be completely alive.
People here feel like they've been hard done by, They haven't had the opportunity to show a positive light. They haven't had the opportunity to show the world that, we are a good people. It's not all bad.
Certainly, as far as Partizan fans are concerned, they're proud of who they are. They're proud of being grobbery, and they'll relish the chance to show you what they can do.
There's always like a concentration on this negative. But when you're going to see the colour, you're going to see when they pick up the tifos, the stands are going to be covered in colour. They're going to be coloured in noise, in passion, and it's going to be brilliant, man. I can't wait.
It really seems as though the stories I heard before coming out here are by no means the be-all and end-all of the eternal derby. However, I am still a little apprehensive about game day itself.
Expect to see some things that you probably haven't seen in England for a while.
I think on the derby day, lots of tension is around city because too many police. On every corner is police standing, not only normal police, but robocops.
You're definitely going to have something they call a bacliada. A bacliada is when you just throw as many players as possible after a goal goes in.
So outside the stadium, we're taking our cameras. Now, what do you think?
I don't think it's so smart because around the stadium, people here have bad experience from the past and they don't like to be recorded. Yeah. They really don't like to be recorded because of all the stories they were connected before with the politics around football.
I mean, what could be the worst situation if we pull out our cameras?
Don't ask me that.
Yeah, you don't want to say it, huh?
No.
It's still early here in Belgrade and we haven't really come across many fans yet. All we're really seeing is a lot of riot police. However, it doesn't matter because for the first time on derby days, we're headed into the stadium early. Why? Because we have gained access like never before. We are closer to the action than we've ever been before. You are going to see derby days like you've never seen before. Well, where do I start with that one? I mean, usually we come out all excited telling you what just happened, but to be honest, it's the next day and I'm still drained from the adrenaline, mentally and physically, of being part of that match live. First and foremost, let's talk about the violent reputation that surrounds this derby and the fans. Totally unfounded, at least in our perspective. From the second we have got here, fans, management, even players have treated us like brothers. The way they treat fellow fans. So proud to show off their city and in particular their football and derby. It's just been exceptional. Copenhagen and I have been around the world covering football, but never have we seen a celebration like Partizan's with that last minute goal. They were with them, they were singing with them. It was beyond anything that we have experienced. But again, that's only half the story. Red Star, I mean, they went through 2 missed penalties, a final minute loss, but again, they didn't stop. At the end of the game, instead of booing, they made their players come over to them and they sang their love for them. The only negative element we saw was when a small, and I mean a very small element of the Red Star fans set fire to some seats in the Partizan stadium, but that honestly paled in comparison to the celebration that was this match day. You can see why it is so special to the people of this city. Yes, they don't have the best football on the pitch, but football, as we've been saying throughout this whole series, is all about effort, and boy, do they have something special. From Barcelona to here in Belgrade, that's all from us at Derby Days for this season. However, stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to Copenhagen because I'm going to be back soon with something very special.